Good morning, and welcome to Mirador Television, the quirky television operation that comes out of the White Hart Hotel in Lewis. Just got to do a little bit of a top up here, just the way that you do with your new electric car. And it takes alternative views. Now, it doesn't take alternative views. What it does is it takes specific views on specific issues, and it tries to give a voice to every point of view, as long as that point of view is not libelous or obscene. Other than that, our people, our correspondents, our contributors can have their say, and that makes us a bit different. The other thing that makes us different is that we are based in the hotel of Tom Paine's Rights of Man Hotel. The White Hart is where Tom Paine formulated the rights of man before going off and fomenting the American Revolution. He's not a philosopher, he's a bit of a stirrer. And he's certainly got a few wars going one way or another. Anyway, just to fill you in on what we do, in case you're new to us, we take a look at the national and international news through the front pages of the newspapers. Then we take a little look at what's going on locally, and all in all, we keep the keep the weather up to date as well. Now, there is a weather warning out from the Met Office, and that is that there is lots of mist around, mist and fog. So do be careful when you're out there, particularly if you're driving. Right now, the temperature is the temperature normally would appear on my screen, and it's not at the moment. Never mind. We'll get it in a minute. It is going to be about 6 or 7. The temperature actually is improving a little bit. It's a slight breeze, sunny intervals. Generally speaking, sharp. There was frost this morning again, but generally speaking, not. There we are. It's -1 degree at the moment, and it's sunny. So that's the sort of day that's waiting for you out there. If you want to go out and greet it, grasp it with both hands. All right, we're going from now until 9 o'clock, taking a look at the news. Then we take a little wander away for half an hour, let you catch your breath and we catch ours. And we will come back with episode 2 of The Bloody Past of a Tiny Town, the part of the history of this town and some of the blood that's been spilled in it over the years. A lot more than most towns in the United Kingdom. And then we will end off the morning after another short break. We will look back at some of the programs that we've done in the past. So that's what we have in store for you this morning, and you can go away and come back. I'd love to see you. Whatever you... let's see, we've got a comment here. It's Freya Bilfrost, who's a lovely lady in Lewis, does great things, great works. I've been watching you on your Facebook account, Freya, and you and some of your colleagues doing great things, super things, and really very grateful. That's one of the activists. I talk about people with a sense of duty. Freya's got a sense of duty, and I keep on with that theme. Several themes that I keep on with. One is the sense of duty, and 2 is that let's get behind Parkinson's. I went for my checkup with a new lady in Seaford yesterday. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on that after we've made sure that we get to the news. To the news we must go, and the first story is about the rogue policeman who has been essentially he's been sent to jail for about 30 years, and that jail sentence is being appealed on the basis that it's too late. And he was a policeman, right? He was a policeman, and over a 30 or 40-year period, he managed to have his way with lots of women, and he bent the police rules to his own convenience, and all in all, it was a thoroughly nasty lot. So the Metro, I think, yes, the Metro says the sentencing of former Met officer David Carrick leads some of the Wednesday's front pages. He's been jailed for 30 years after 49 charges, including 24 counts of rape, while he was a serving officer. The Metro newspaper reports say Carrick has been condemned as a scar on our police. Well, I think I can go along with that. The Guardian takes the same tack. Monstrous. Rapist ex-Met officer jailed for life after years of attacks. And it's Carrick raped, assaulted, and inflicted irretrievable destruction on at least 12 women before intimidating them into silence, says the Guardian. The paper says the firearms officer will spend at least 30 years in prison as a punishment for offences over 17 years. The paper also features a picture of a father holding his daughter's hand, who died in the earthquake in Turkey, and the full extent of that devastating occasion that started on Sunday night and went through yesterday is it's still in the headlines, and so it should be. Up to 10,000 people expected to have died. The Daily Telegraph, it stays with the same theme. The Met rapist's lenient sentence to be reviewed. 30 years is considered far too lenient for this man with what he did. And the full force of the law. I mean, the judge obviously is going to be criticized for handing out what many consider to be too light a sentence. However, you must remember that quite often judges are restricted by statute. They can't just say, lock them away and throw away the key. They have to look at what's called a tariff and see what it is that they can and cannot sentence him to. And if they get it wrong, of course, that opens up the doors for an appeal. Right, okay. Let's see. We've got some interesting people contacting us this morning. I'm delighted about that. Sorry, I got. The Telegraph goes along with the light sentencing. The Eye is it switches back to yesterday's race to find quake survivors, and it continues with that story where the devastation is so great that the search will continue for quite some time. Looking for survivors, of course, but they anticipate that already 5,000 are dead, and that's going to increase considerably over the next couple of days or so. Is survivors following the earthquake in Syria and Turkey continue to be searched for. The paper says a baby fell ill, still attached to its mother by an umbilical cord, was rescued from the rubble. The death toll has surpassed 7,200, as 400,000 people in Turkey are seeking shelter in shopping centres, sports stadiums, and mosques after their homes collapsed in the earthquake. Life and death under the ruins, says the Times, and it shows a picture of a little baby pulled out of the rubble, lying in its cot, undoubtedly not really aware of what the hell's going on. Life and death under the ruins, declares the Times. As it reports, the search continues to find survivors in the rubble after the earthquake. The paper says it's feared more than 200,000 people may have been killed. Over 200,000 people. Oh, 20,000 people. Oh, thank goodness I got the zeros in the wrong place. More than 20,000 people, but the estimate keeps going up. Started at 5, it went to 10, now it's 20. Rescue workers have had to force their way along wrecked roads in freezing temperatures, and complaints from residents that help arrived too late, the paper says. The Financial Times is that it returns to some of our own problems with Rishi Sunak and how he's going to do a mini reshuffle on the cabinet, and he's going to break up the business department to sharpen focus on energy and science. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has broken up the government's business department to sharpen its focus on energy and science, despite concerns it could prove costly. The paper says the Prime Minister also used the reshuffle to fill the vacant post of Conservative Party chairman. And that's gone to Hannah White. I don't know who Hannah White is. No, I mean, she's obviously a senior bigwig of the Tory party, but her name doesn't come roaring out at me as somebody who we should all know something about. While the Institute for Government said the shake-up would eternally bring focus to priority areas, but could cost easily £100 million. The Daily Mail. The Daily Mail takes a different tack altogether. Good for the Mail. And what the Mail is on about is that now even God could be going gender neutral. They can't leave it alone, can they? Everybody's got to go woke. The Church of England is set to debate whether God could be referred to in non-gender terms. The paper says Anglican bishops are preparing to launch a major project on gendered language this spring, which might decide to stop using the male pronouns he or him or prayers or in prayers. Give me strength. When the wokes are starting to get into I will tell you now that I have declared Mirador Television a woke-free zone. It is not woke. We don't approve of woke. We don't subscribe to it. And all we really do is we get very, very upset that they seem to be affecting without a shred of evidence to show why they're doing various things. Anyway, they are seemingly destroying a lot of things in the green sector. They are most certainly totally and utterly destroying our language. Daily Express, a distress call and school head and daughter shot dead. That's the shooting in the private school, which it appears it was a murder-suicide. And the Daily Mirror, born in earthquake hell, a baby survives, but mum dies as 20,000 are feared killed. So we're all the way around. We're in bad situation as far as the earthquake is concerned. Hundreds of thousands caught in it, tens of thousands affected by it. And the world looking very carefully now at what the hell is going on with both there and in Syria. We have to get our act together and try to stop it. I think that our government has started off on the wrong foot. It's not doing that. It's fiddling around without giving any credence whatsoever to the issues that are surrounding the disasters that we experience at the moment. I have to say, if you look at it from a journalistic point of view, 2023 has been great from a headline. There isn't a day gone by where, once again, there wasn't something to take a look at and to say, ooh, tut, tut, ooh, ah. The thing that I'm just pouring some coffee, if you'll forgive me. The thing that is the worry is that this woke issue is we all do what they say. They decide to change the language, and everyone says, "Oh yes." They decide to bend the knee. Oh yes, as if they have a God-given right to tell us what to do. Let me tell you now, this television station, and partly through me, it has no isms. We don't give a fig. What we are is we are a company and a group of people here who believe in excellence. We want people to do the job. We look for merit. We are meritocrats. That is how we see people. Don't care what color they are, what sexual persuasion they are. We like to see people who can do the job. And many people say, we can all do one thing well. And actually, I admitted to somebody the other day, I think I'm not a bad broadcaster, but I'm lousy at almost everything else. And I don't pretend that I am any good. Too many people pretend and then come a cropper. Anyway, that's for another day. BP, the spoils of war. And there we've got to take a look at the petrol giant, which gets 23 billion pounds of profits on the back of Putin's bloody invasion of Ukraine. And as bills skyrocket, so it takes advantage of the things that we need, and in the pandemic, and even now, where we're still careful about what we spend in the supermarkets, and indeed in BP's in BP's facilities. That's 23 billion of profits, and that is obscene. The company has been accused of profiting from the war in Ukraine, and the paper reports as millions struggle, who are the cost of things. Now, what begins to worry me as well is we keep on saying that this organization is profiteering from these sort of things. Nobody is once again looking at it from the point of view of duty. Oh, profiteering, etc., etc., etc. But nobody is looking at it from a sense of duty. What we need to do is to look at those companies and groups and enterprises that have made huge, huge profits and decide what is reasonable, and to either tax them silly to get some of the excess back into the coffers, or, and I'm not in favor of that last solution, by the way, or to ensure that we've got a new wave, a new look at the way that we develop our society. I don't know what it is, but nobody is talking about it. Everybody's sitting back with self-satisfied smile on their face, but for no good reason. Our country is in a mess, and I want to see some action on getting it out of the mess, and not is this introverted view that our politicians and our leaders are taking, is looking first of all to play the blame game. Whose fault is it? Wasn't us, Gov. No, not us. And they are not in any way looking at practical schemes to help us get our way out of it, dig our way out of it. Crazy. The sun. Aha, the sun. Oh, ho, ho. What the sun does is very, very nice this morning, because it moves totally away from the bad issues that are striking us at the moment. And it says, hey, listen, we need to get people laughing again. Nobody is laughing at the moment. Well, you can say that again. It's not. Nobody is laughing. But one of the things that it says that we are getting back, and this is quite delightful, is the sitcom Faulty Years, some 20 years after it's given up, after it's gone. And Basil Fawlty and his funny little hotel, played by well, isn't that funny? I didn't even make a note of it because I knew it so well. And then, of course, these things go out of my mind at the moment. Andrew Sachs, I know, because Andrew Sachs, John Cleese, of course, plays Basil Fawlty. They're totally and utterly bigoted. I mean, perhaps it is a good thing to see it coming out of retirement, because he plays in a laugh-back situation. The hotel owner who actually makes fun of all the so-called silly ways that we take things. For instance, he says, "Don't mention the war." Never mind the Nazis, never mind the Germans, that sort of thing. It's a breath of fresh air. As long as the powers that be don't stunt the writing, it's a welcome return. The Star. Britain is in the grip of a chocolate crisis. It is the Star. And basically what it's saying is we're not laughing anymore. And I think that's absolutely right. We are not laughing anymore. And it's a sad scene when getting out of bed in the morning is to go through a day of miserable old sin, beset by problems. We're all beset by problems. Well, now let's see. We'll go to the local news now. And there's something that's just come up. There's crews rushed to an accident. Well, here we go. Emergency crews rushed to an accidental flat fire. And where is that? In Eastbourne. So there's a fire broken out in Eastbourne. And so we don't know any more details than that. It was yesterday evening, so it looks like it's been put out. It was in Milfoil Drive at about 7:30 p.m. Last night. So not anything great, but nonetheless. That's a police name man changed with attempted murder after the Henfield attack left 2 injured. It was a serious assault in Henfield, and it took place on Saturday night. The police were called to the scene at Henfield Common at around 11:25 at night after receiving reports of 2 men being assaulted. On arrival, 2 men were found with serious injuries, and both were taken to hospital. Let's see. A 16-year-old girl was assaulted in a racist attack. How do we know it's a racist attack? Well, we don't. In Hastings. Police want to speak to anybody who may have witnessed an incident which is described as being racially aggravated. Other than that, we know very little. Very little. I think that's more or less what we've got. So be careful out there. And it just so happens that we reached 9 o'clock. Wowee. We have reached 9 o'clock. So we're going to take a break now, and then we'll come back with the next episode of A Tiny Town. And we'll take another short break. And depending on what's happening in the day, we will broadcast what we call ad hoc. In other words, let's see what's happening. And that's what we'll talk about, or what we'll demonstrate, or what we won't talk about, as the case may be. So just a reminder. Oh, by the way, it's -1 degree at the moment, and it's sunny. There's a weather warning out for fog, which is causing some disruption to traffic. So be careful when you drive. And the major stories are that a copper has been given 30 years for 30 years of mayhem in which he raped people, bullied them, did all sorts of nasty things in his guise as a policeman. We also have the continuing story of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. And we have a consideration of some of the smaller stories which are local, but not parochial. No, they're reasonably good headline stories. And those are the things that we winkled out for you this morning. All right. So what we're going to do is now we're going to take a half-hour break, and then we'll be back. So you take a half-hour break, get yourself a cup of coffee, get ready to put your feet up again to watch us, and hopefully we will. We won't be too long.